Take this. Yeah. I have had quite a few people now contact me and ask those questions. What, where, how, when. Who I am. So my name's Mark. I'm from the UK, from a little town called Preston in Lancashire, and I've been around the world sort of working on different projects, architectural projects. Our first large project was the Channel Tunnel. Then after that I set up a studio as a designer, a furniture designer, furniture maker, and started doing some architectural projects with the beautiful lady Lynn Davis, and down in Sandwich in Kent. Designing, building furniture, and also doing some CAD work for her. Then after that I got offered a position out in Hong Kong at Hong Kong Airport, working on the interiors there. That for a couple of years. That I went back to the UK. I went off to Australia. That was back in 1999. I worked in London for a long time, 10 years in London, on and off. Also worked out in Dubai, in palaces out in Dubai and 5-star hotels. So that I went on back to London, did some more time in London, and then I went over to Moscow. I was doing some project for Vinesh Bank on a large architectural project there with TP Bennett. And then after that I moved to St. Petersburg, Russia. Spent a couple of years in Russia, where I met my beautiful wife. We restored a property in Russia before going back to London, and then we rented out both properties, so we were homeless. So we decided we were going to emigrate to Sydney in Australia, which is what we did in 2008. Worked for a few architectural practices in Sydney, and then after that set up my own architectural practice down at the Rocks, which was called Shorrocks. And prior to that it was called A+ID, Architecture Plus Interior Design. Until COVID happened, and then I closed that company down. 2 weeks before COVID hit, a bit of fortune kicking in there. And then after that, my wife and I, we decided to plant our own garden up. We got quite a nice large plot of land down by the waterfront there, and we had a catamaran. And we decided we were going to plant the garden up. If everything went to shit, we'd plant the garden up and we'd grab the dogs and we'd disappear on the cat and sail away, and only come back when it was harvest time to harvest the crop. You know, over a glass of wine in the evenings we'd sit down and we'd talk about, in the eventuality of things failing, what would our ideal lifestyle be? Well, you know, if everything failed, where would we be? And this is where the idea of Nautic Voyager came from. It was more about sort of like an experiment on basically how can we as human beings choose an existence which is not so intrusive and invasive on the planet, and which is sustainable long term and a good quality of life, well, what we consider as a good quality of life. And then we decided, right, okay, then, you know, maybe we should start looking at purchasing a vessel which was bigger than the catamaran we had and which could sustain life on the ocean. Or, you know, just could we create an environment where we can live comfortably and live off. Yeah, then we started delving into like more sort of minimalistic lifestyles, and can we actually do it like off the natural forces like the wind, the sun, the water. You know, can we convert that salt water into fresh water? Yes, we can. We can use osmosis, and there's water makers out there that can do this. Can we power ourselves by wind? Well, I would say about 60% of the time we could. So the wind, yes, but we would need some kind of propulsion that wasn't wind powered as well. So then we were thinking, well, there's electric motors, maybe we could look into that. Electricity, so we've got solar power, so we can harness the sun. We've got wind power, so wind generators, which can harness the wind. And then we've got wave power, which basically, as we're sailing along, or we can actually regen the movement of the waves passing the propellers, which is going to act like a generator anyway, and we can tap into that too. So providing we've got a good battery bank, which at the moment lithium ion, I know lithium sulfate is pretty reliable and probably lighter and better. So we've got lithium sulfate, lithium ion batteries. You know, there's a lot to tap into to create your own energy. I mean, you don't need to be on grid. You don't need to be running diesel powered generators. And I mean, obviously there's going to be times when a diesel powered generator is going to need to be used in an emergency, or I mean, even for now. I mean, like I said, we're not made of money, and you know, our resources are very limited. How can you do it? Like, can a normal person like you and me do that? Like, change our whole lifestyle and become sustainable? And can we generate, is there any way we can sort of generate that income as well? I mean, I don't know. I mean, are there ways? Can we do research for people? Can we test products? Can we, you know, do all the things that, you know, these large companies are, you know, paying R&D departments for? Can we not sort of tap into that as well? You know, maybe we could test out products, take them on world tours. Definitely something that we'd be interested in taking on board is, you know, actually testing out equipment. So there's that side of it. Maybe there's, you know, maybe we can give you guys, I don't know. I mean, I'm still feeling I'm still an infant in this sort of Nautic Voyager stage, and so that, yeah, that's basically, that's where we're coming from. That was all developed during sort of 2019. When world leaders were standing in front of cameras saying, you know, with the stay in your houses and, you know, shortages and don't go to work and, you know, keep yourselves, I mean, it was like very scary for everyone, including me. You know, I really pricked up, and yeah, so that was the inception during 2019. So in March of 2019, Nadia and I invested in a hurricane damaged vessel, which was over in the Bahamas. Now that's all we could afford at the time. Like I said, I just closed down my business, and basically, you know, we were uncertain about the future, and you know, there's no way I was just gonna spend $250,000 on a luxury catamaran. There's no way we could have afforded that. I mean, it's impossible. So what we did, we bought a hurricane damaged vessel. I'd already got like 5 or 6 years experience on sort of doing boat works. I mean, obviously having a cabinet maker skills and background, having a design background and some architectural backgrounds, so I kind of understand, you know, designs and materials and how things are put together and how things work. So anyway, we bought this hurricane damaged vessel. We saw it advertised online. We made an offer, accepted our offer. So we paid the money. We hadn't seen the boat. He gave us a pretty good description of it. It didn't really hide too much from us, and we asked all the right questions and we did the research. So we estimated on time and costs, and I was being quite conservative about my pricing. So I was overpricing everything and overestimating the times. And we decided that this vessel that we've found, which was a Fontaine Pajot Venetia 42 foot, was, and it was known as version, was the right vessel for us. So it all made financial sense, and we did it. We paid our money. So that was it. We bought that in 2019, and then July, August, things started to ease up a little bit in Australia, and just when we thought things were going to get better, they stopped international travel. So I could have left because of my business, so I could get an exemption to travel, and yeah, so I could have left, and I didn't. So it became like a 17-month sort of wait for us. And during that time, we gave me and my wife more time to sort of discuss our options, consider everything, not just, okay, we bought a boat, let's go. It was more, we bought a boat, now how do we make it a reality? So we had this boat sitting on the other side of the world, which was gathering harbour fees, and we had us on the other side of the world, not knowing when we could next leave. It became more of a time for intense planning. The social experiment is, can we as human beings live a fruitful life which is less taxing on the natural resources around us, and which could, help us and help our future families and our children, our grandchildren. Can we change that mindset about mass consumption? We don't need to consume everything to be able to get that. We just need to be better educated and more streamlined and make the right choices. Yeah, I want bigger, better, faster, stronger. I want a bigger boat, faster boat. I want my solar panels to be stronger. I want to be able to create more energy. But in a more positive way, rather than it just being like take. I want to sort of maybe develop something. Maybe that's what comes from this. Maybe it is about developing new products that achieve that and make it affordable to everybody else, so that people like me and people like you, they can adapt to all of that and utilize it. What is our future? Okay, we've had one big scare. How many big scares do we need? And it's really easy at the moment just to forget about that. Everything's getting back to normal. People don't want to remember it. People don't want to live in that moment where there was a lot of loss, a lot of uncertainty. We had people that were fearing for their lives, and people still are, I guess. But I don't want to just forget that, and I know it's a human instinct just to forget it and move on. But if we've had one scare, what about the next scare? So why don't we concentrate on not mass communal living on a global level, part of the world which is not occupied, and then we've got saturated parts of the world which are overpopulated, and through that overpopulation, a possibility for any chain reaction that goes off just to spread like wildfire. Maybe there's something more for us. That's where my mindset is. I want to create something that's good for me and my family, and for the environment and for the generations to come. So let's look at it. Running away on a boat from all of that is one option, which is the option that I've chosen. Now, there's other options as well. Many people are doing it now. So people are getting in vans, and it's van living. People are going minimalistic, where they're getting rid of all their belongings and they're only keeping the essential items. So it's a mindset. So it doesn't matter whether you do what I'm doing or whether you're doing whatever comes into your head. That's not the point. The point is the mindset. How can we do this? What drives me is that I'm sharing a message, and even if it's just one of you guys, just one person out of all the people that are watching this decides, you know what, I'm going to give that a go. I will have accomplished something, even if it's just one person. And if that one person spreads the word and that becomes 2 people, and then that becomes 4 people, and that becomes 8 people, then so be it. So it's not an ego thing. I'm not doing it for an ego thing. I'm not doing it because I just want to cop out and jump out of it. I want to actually help. I don't want to cop out at all. I want to sort of inspire people and try and help a system that's basically failing. It's just a failing in as much as that we're growing too quickly and we're not listening to the warning signs, and we really should be doing, and this should have been a goddamn great kick in the arse that we needed. And I guess in some respects it was. People did spend more time with their families. People did realise that quality time It wasn't about going out and spending money, although internet sales, I'm sure, went through the bloody roof. And I know that, you know, places, Home Depots and Bunnings and all those sort of places, they went through the roof. But people were spending time at home doing the things that needed to be done and which they found important in their lives. I hope that resonates within society, that, you know, spend more time with your loved ones and only achieve the things that you need to achieve. Don't try and strive for something that's not important to you. It's really important that we understand what it is that we actually need and what we need to survive, and then everything else after that is a want. So, you know, I want lithium batteries. I want nice big solar panels that are going to drive those batteries. I want, you know, a water maker, wind. I want all of those things in order to survive the next phase, because eventually we're going to have to sail back to Australia from this beautiful island that you see behind me. But we are going to need to sail back to Australia, and that is going to require skill, dedication and the right tools to do the job. So yeah, so that's what I want at the moment, is just the right tools for the job. The plan's very simple. We've got these boats now, we've got to fix them. That's stage one of the plan. Stage two is, once they're fixed, we need to get them in the water and take these boats from the Bahamas, 17,000 kilometers, roughly, maybe 15, 17,000 kilometers to the other side of the globe, to Australia. But not to do it quickly, that we can share with you guys. I think that's the key plan. And then, is it going to end there? I don't know. I mean, all the experiences that we're going to go through, I don't know what they are at the moment. I can't predict that far ahead. So Nadia's going to come and join me. Nadia's mum would be really cool to have aboard. She would love that experience. She loves fishing, doesn't speak a word of English, 86 years old, and I'm sure that that would be an adventure that she would never forget. So Nadia's going to come and join me, and then we're going to be a family which is basically on board, living a life and experiencing different cultures, different people, different experiences, whatever they may be, you know. And part of the experiment is not to say no, it's actually to say yes. And can you do it? And how am I going to explain it to you so that it inspires you to think, you know what, I can do that. And believe you me, it's not a large budget. Most people could afford to do this. It's just a bit of get up and go, you know. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go and do it. And you've seen it on all the other YouTube channels, on how people just get up and go, buy a $5,000 boat and sail around and have a good quality of life. And people enjoy that life, and they enjoyed it, and other people are enjoying watching them, like I enjoy watching them as well. So yeah, and there's some fantastic adventures going off right now. So I'm only one of many, I guess. So yes, so that's the plan. The plan is to sail and to enjoy sailing. I mean, you know, do something that is just 100% sort of just awe-inspiring. Like sailing's such an awe-inspiring feat. It's great. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, I can't put it into words, but as soon as that motor goes off and your sails go up and bang, you're right there. You forget about everything, all your worries, all your stresses, all your strains, life, everything just disappears, and your mobile phone gets put in a plastic bag and stuck in a drawer on the boat, and it doesn't come out. Your laptop comes out in the evening to do some bits and pieces, answer some internet. I mean, you're never completely away from everything, but you know what? It's not a bad existence. The conclusion, and it's like, I don't know. I think you've got to watch this now, haven't you? And enjoy it. Take your time. Maybe every week I'll give you some little tidbit of information or advice or something you can tune into that makes your day a little bit more special and makes your mindset a little bit more clearer, which inspires you to do something which is beautiful and that makes you love yourself. Do something for you. Not feel like you're being selfish or you're just there, you're just enjoying the moment, and if you can, sharing it with everybody else. I mean, I'm hoping I'm going to share it with as many people as possible. You know, time will tell. Just doing this to the best of my ability. We're using the resources that I have, the time that I've got, and the energies and the powers that are surrounding me. A lot of people are supporting me right now. My wife is supporting me, my friends are supporting me, families are supporting me. You, the viewers, the people who are watching this. So don't forget, guys, you know, that I'm not doing this for money, I don't get paid to do this, so all I would ask of you is just to subscribe, because that means a lot to the success of this project. Is just your subscription or your like or your share, and if you can do all three, then that's a big plus for me. So do that. That's all I ask of you. The rest of it, I'll keep doing it. I'll keep making movies and I'll keep doing this for you, and we can have that shared experience together. And one day, you know, it'd be nice to, you know, finally get some people, some supporters, some Nautic Voyagers, come and spend a couple of weeks, experience it for yourselves, you know. So I'd like that. I mean, we've got a big enough boat where we can take on another 4 people if we wanted to for a short time, or, you know, just a crew, just come and experience it and share that love and share that experience, like on a one-to-one level. So I mean, that's coming up soon, but let's get the boat in the water first. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, don't forget to hit subscribe. See you later.